Hello my creatives, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share our videos, and please stay tuned for sewing tutorials, vlogs, DIYs and fashion hacks. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Today we are going to look at this shift dress. It's going to be a long one, and it's going to have a pocket, and then its design will be applied on the top, unlike other shift dresses where you put the facing on the inside. This time it will be put on the top, on the right side of the fabric. So yes, let's get started. So all you need is fabric that is about 3 meters, 3-meter fabric. Make sure your my dress length was 58 inches. That's what I marked for my dress length. And then I folded the fabric into 4, because remember we're going to divide our measurements, our circumference, our body measurements into 4. So now I'm just marking my vertical measurements. That's the shoulder, the bust, the waist and the hip. So the shoulder, I put it at shoulder to armhole, my armhole. Remember, to get the armhole, you divide your bust circumference, divide by 4 minus 1. So if your bust is 40, divided by 4, that's 10, minus 1, 9. So that's going to be your armhole depth. So that's how I got my armhole depth. Mine was 9.5, and then my bust depth was 10.5, and then the waist was 17, and then the hip was 24 inches. Yeah. So now I'm going to mark my shoulder to shoulder, divide by 2. That's 16 divided by 2, making it 8. That's what I'm marking, and whatever remains as extra fabric is going to work as my sleeve length. So now I'm marking my neck width, which was 3 inches. And then the neck depth, which is also 3 inches. But remember, we're going to add that opening, that slight opening. It can go up to 7 inches depending on how deep you want it to be. So yeah, that's what I marked there. And now I'm going to join using a curve, the French curve, as you can see. Then I also marked my 1 inch depth, neck depth for the back. For the back panel. So there I'm just drawing the curve. You can use your free hand, you can do a V, a straight V, you can use a curved V, whatever you prefer. So just draw your go down at your sleeve depth by 1/2 inch to 1 inch, but me I used 1 inch, and then I drew my shoulder slant. Sorry if the video is being very fast, it's just that I didn't want it to take so much time. But I hope I'm explaining better. So here we are going to get all our circumference measurements, divide by 4. So like I said, if your bust is 40 inches, you divide that by 4, making it 10 inches. So that's what you're going to mark at your bust, at the bust line. If your waist is 30, divide it by 4 and mark that. Same applies to the hip. So that's what I'm marking. Sorry you can't see the exact measurements, but at least I'm explaining them so that you can get to know what to mark on yours. So my hip, I remember the hip was, I think, about 44, divide by 4, making it 11. So that's what I marked. And then that's what I'm going to mark down, but at the bottom, at the hem, I add an extra 3 inches for walking, like ease in walking, so that it's not very tight while walking. So instead of 11, I marked 14 inches at the bottom. And now I go around adding 1 inch for sewing allowance, and yeah, sewing allowance. So after that, I just join my lines. Remember to draw the curve from the sleeve, running down to the bust, to the waist, to the hip, and then to the hem. Hope you get what I'm saying. But now you can see our dress has come out. It's a very easy one, very few steps. Yeah, and then our dress will come out. So yeah, like I said, I added 1 inch seam allowance all around. And then for the shoulder, the sleeves, I'm just going to add 1/2 inch while cutting. Just add 1/2 inch seam allowance, and that's it. Remember, at the hem we added an extra 3 inches, making it 14, then plus the 1 inch seam allowance, making it 15. And yet at the hip we have 12 inches altogether. So then cut out your fabric, cut out your panels as seen. Yeah, remember with a shift dress, the sleeves are attached to the panels, to the bodice. So that's why we are cutting it out like that. Then first cut out your back panel, your neck depth for the back panel. Separate the top part if it needs separating. And then after that, we are going to remove the back panel. Okay, let me not go ahead of myself. So now I'm cutting my shoulder slant, as I told you. If you have enough fabric, remember to add the 0.5 inches for stitching at the shoulder slant. But I didn't have enough, so yeah. Now I'm just going to cut the facing for the neck. Normally when my facing, how I calculate it is this. On the width, I add 2.5 inches, and at the bottom I add 4 inches. I add 4 inches going down, and I add 2.5 to the on the width. Just trace out your neck. Yes, that's where I add that 2.5 if you hadn't gotten what I was saying. And then there I add the 4 inches. Then after that I just draw a curve. Yeah. But the difference with this facing is it's going to I'm going to make it face the right side of the fabric, like it's going to be on top. Reason as to why I did that is because it had you see this black design. Yeah, it had that a lot of that black design, and yet the dress didn't have the black design on top, and I wanted to make it look planned, as though I planned while I was making the dress. So yes, that's our back facing. And then I separate the two panels. Now I cut out the neck for the front piece. Remember our depths that we made. Now you're going to see how it really came out. Yes, so that's how it is. It's like an S kind of thing. And at where the open part meets, I put a curve. Sorry, I made it like a curve so that it's not so sharp. So yes, as you've seen, that's the design that I wanted to appear on the top of the dress, that black design. Yeah, as you can see. So it's what I'm going to use for my facing, and it's the reason as to why I decided to put it on the top of the fabric instead of where the facing normally is on the inside. So like I said, you have to trace out the neck. Remember, when cutting facing, you fold it. You fold the fabric still. So first of all, trace out your neck to get the exact shape, and then add the 2.5 like I said on the right, on the top part, and then add your 4 inches at the bottom part. And then draw your curve. You can do a curve, you can do a V, whatever you want. Here it is you who chooses whatever design you want. I preferred to do a curve since I had done a curve for the back also. So then cut it out in the same shape. Cut it out as you had traced it. And now that's going to be our design. You can see the black is going to be seated on the green. I hope now I'm making some sense. You see how the green was so plain? So now, yes, the black is going to sit on top like that. Alright. So, you see where I'm passing my finger? That's where I'm going to first sew to attach the facing to the panel itself. Even I'm going to repeat the same for the back. Remember, while doing this, in joining, you're going to join wrong side facing the wrong side of the facing the wrong side of the panel, the bodice, so that when you turn it over, it's right side on top. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So here I'm just cutting out the pocket. Yeah, and I'm going to cut out 2 equal pieces to cut out the pocket that I'm going to attach to the dress. I repeat, when you're attaching the facing that's going to appear on top as a design, you stitch wrong side facing the wrong side, and then when you flip over, it's the right side on top, the right side of the facing on top. So this is it after attaching, as you can see. The right side of the facing is the one that's on top. I have attached the facings, both for the back and for the front. So here I'm just pinning the shoulders. I'm just pinning the facing on top of the fabric to try and bring out the design I want. And then after I attach the shoulders, I'll be able to attach the shoulders, as you can see. I really hope you get what I'm doing. Here I'm just folding in the design so that by the time I stitch the shoulders, by the time I attach the shoulders for the front and back panel, it's already it's already inside. The fraying side is not showing on top. It's going to make more sense when you get to see it shortly. So there I'm just pinning the shoulder, which I am going to stitch, and I'll do the same for the other side too. As you can see, stitch there. Now this is it after stitching on one of the sides, to try and show you what I'm trying to make. So that is it. And now I'm trying to flip it on the other side to show you. I think you've seen how it looks after joining the shoulders. So that's how that design is. Yeah, you can see it's on top. So now we're going to attach the design on top, still by pinning. I join the shoulders first. You can see our design is trying to come out. It's looking really nice. So now you just go folding it at the edges by 1/2 inch and then pin. I decided to make it sort of a V. You're going to see how I'm going to fold it to try and cover all those corners. So one thing I forgot to tell you is you have to notch the area, the neck area, so that when you fold your design on top, it doesn't bulge. So yeah, here I'm fixing it inside, just folding it in by 1/2 inch, and then I pin. It's only the bottom where I folded more than 1/2 inch to try and create my V shape that I wanted. I hope my hair is not getting in the way for you to see. So yeah, just fold it in by 1/2 inch and then pin. Then at the bottom you can fold it in by more inches. It doesn't matter as long as the shape comes out. Pin, pin, pin. Remember to pin so that when you're sewing, it doesn't move out of the way. Repeat the same for the back and stitch around. Stitch at both the edges, the one that's closest to the neckline and the one where we've just pinned. Yeah, repeat the same for the back. Fold it in the way you would want it to come out. I tried to create like a simple V at the back also, though it didn't really come out because I had used little fabric. But yeah, it still made sense. Remember, we're going to make top stitches for the top part and at the edge where the design ends. So keep that in mind to add the those top stitches actually make the design look look better, and they give the outfit a more professional look, professional finishing. Then for the sleeve, we're going to fold it by 1 to 1.5 inches, pin, and then stitch. Just hem it by 1 inch to 1.5 depending on how much fabric you have. Do the same for the other side too, and then come back. So this is it after stitching. You see I already finished hemming the sleeves. I've finished attaching the design. It's intact. I did the top stitch around the neck, and yes, there at the bottom. Now we're going to attach our pockets. To attach the pocket, you count 8 inches from your armpit area. Just count 8 inches, it's enough, and mark. So where you mark is where your pocket is going to start. Now when placing your pocket, make sure the right sides are facing. Right sides facing. That's how you attach a pocket. Meaning you're going to attach it on top like that, and then after you'll flip it on the inside. So remember, right sides facing. Then you attach your pocket. Guys, if you've made it this far in the video, please, and you liked it so far, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share to all your family and friends. You can also follow me on Instagram. You can share with me what you've done so far from my videos. If you've learned anything and you've tried out some of these outfits, don't hesitate to share them with me. I'll be so proud. Follow me on TikTok and Shruti Creations, Instagram and Shruti Creations, same name. The only difference, it doesn't have the UG. Yes. All right. So hem the bottom also. For this dress, I normally hem the bottom last, but this time I decided to hem it first. So I hemmed it by I used about 1.5 inches. Folded it twice, folded the 1/2 inch first and then folded the 1 inch next, and then stitched. And then this is it after hemming. As you can see, finished hemming the bottom, and now I've finished attaching the pocket also. So that's how it looks. And now I'm going to flip it on the wrong side, make the right sides facing so that I can do the side seams. So this is the last part, yeah, and this is the last and the easiest part, because we're just going to join the side seams straight from the sleeves down to the hem. Just follow my finger. Then for the side of the pocket, do it the way it is. Follow my finger and yes, go like that and stitch. So this is our finished product. And now this is another design, but for it the facing is on the inside. Thanks for watching.